Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Boiling Point Faith and Fire, where the truth gets turned up, pressure gets exposed, and we stop pretending everything's fine when it's clearly not. This isn't your safe space, it's real space. Um, Doing this just to encourage you guys to think or question, sharpen, and actually face what's going on in the world and through ourselves, through truth and not feelings. I do not do this alone. I am joined by my co host, Rory, the grounded one, the voice of reason, and the guy who has more podcasts than I have kids, which that is saying something. How are you, darling?
Hey, better than I deserve. How you doing today?
Yeah, good. It's a weird Monday for me. Very weird Monday, but we're here.
Well, I saw got the softball schedules. Is that what's up?
Oh my gosh, that too. Yeah, I bid everybody farewell because I have two girls playing softball. My son is in track. And yeah, I got all the final schedule today and 5 days a week. Actually, seven. Ideally, it will end up being seven towards the end. So I guess I will see everybody after the season is over.
In May. Yeah.
Uh, Actually, no. The girls like their stuff goes through like June and July, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a hot minute. But sports, you know what I'm saying, and it's one of those things. Like I'm really glad I homeschool because I couldn't imagine how everybody feels trying to pack all these practices with multiple kids and like how do you guys ever just have any downtime? It would be it. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I think it's
You
amazing.
don't.
There's
Yeah.
none, right? It's
No, we had three in sports and we
yeah,
were always juggling it and the whole bit. And yeah, you don't have downtime. If you're a sports parent, there's no downtime.
yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
It's wild. That's
Yeah.
thank God I'm homeschooling because I wouldn't even do sports. I don't think if I already didn't have them, because it's I just am like you never see your kids. You see them, but you're watching. And you guys, I just want to say I'm probably the only softball parent that thinks it's absolutely the most boring thing to sit and watch. Like it's not fun for me. I love them. The girls love it. It's fun to kind of watch them grow, but I it is not the funnest thing for me. I feel like it takes days. Every game is like a whole day. Just it's
You,
wild.
you are the only parent who feels that way.
Yeah, it's crazy
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
All the rest of us love
Yeah.
it.
I don't even know how to get to that point of like this is I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but whatever. I support them, I show up, I root for them, I cheer, all the things. I'm a good sports mom. Just yeah, I don't know. It's cool though. All right, so let's get into it today because you guys don't really give a shit what's going on with Brandon's kids. Okay, no one cares about that shit. I want to ask you guys something. Because we had the whole the whole internet is just talking about the No Kings again. This is like their third shot at this, okay? And this was their greatest turnout from what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any fake pictures, but I'm seeing the numbers and the data. The last one they faked a lot of stuff. So I don't think they got the turnout, but this is why it was so big because why are billionaires pouring millions into organizing millions of people to march? And they are paying under a banner that's saying no kings when you guys like we don't have a king. We have a republic. We were never a democracy, okay? And I saw signs about democracy's lost. We were never a monarchy. So my question is like what are they protesting? And it's wild to me because yeah, here we go again. Soros money just thrown out there through this like indivisible chaos. We have a literal communist living in China funding socialist groups to march in American streets. And the message they're pushing is save our democracy, and it's hurting my brain because what democracy? So either these people funding this don't know what form of government we actually have, and I doubt that because billionaires aren't stupid, right? Or their language here and all of this is super intentional. Like they want people to think maybe it's a democracy because in a democracy, you guys, if you understand, the mob rules. And if you can fund the mob, you could control the mob. So you get millions of people in the streets feeling righteous and emotional because that's what they're doing. It's righteous, it's emotional. This is their thing. Not a single one of them, I've never seen them stop to ask like who organizes this? Who's paying for this? Everybody shared the Craigslist ads or whatever the hell they were, little ads of like $20 to $40 an hour. Who did all this? Who printed all the flyers? Filed 3,300 permits. That's how many were filed, okay, across 50 states in a leaderless movement. It's not a grassroots thing. Okay. That's infrastructure, you guys. This wasn't just people like, ooh, it is the machine. And the question you should be asking isn't like, what are they protesting? It's what are they being conditioned to accept next? Because we know the protest doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We had 4 years of Biden where gas prices were through the roof, groceries doubled, the borders wide open. Nothing happens. Crickets. Nobody organized over 3,000 events across 50 states. Nobody spent billions mobilizing millions of people in the streets. Nobody's paying people to hold the signs. We just complained on the internet and waited for the next election like normal Americans. But it gets worse than that because under Biden, we didn't just have bad policy, we had actual tyranny. They locked you in your house. They shut down your business. They closed your church. They told you what to inject in your body or you'd lose your job, your career, your ability to feed your family. They masked your kids. They told you couldn't visit your dying grandmother in the hospital. They created a two-tiered society, the compliant and the punished. That's what a king does. That's textbook definition of authoritarian outreach. The government telling you what you can and you can't put in your body, where you can go, whether you're allowed to earn a living. And where were the no king's people? Where were they? All the marchers. People are literally being forced on medical procedures, forced on them under that threat of economic destruction. They're at home complying, posting their vaccine cards for social credit points, and calling the rest of us grandma killers for asking questions. And if you have a functioning brain cell, wake up, right? Like we stopped complying a long time ago. We all said, no thanks, absolutely not. You don't own this. You don't own my choices. And you don't get to burn my career to the ground. Like we stood up against that. And we did it without Soros money. We did it without organizations and coordinated permits and matching signs. We said no, because that is what resistance really looks like. It's not cute and organized with, everything you guys did. It was terrifying, it was lonely, and it cost us everything. Now it's an emergency. Now democracy's dying, and the president of the United States cannot raise your rent. He cannot change the price of eggs at your grocery store. He cannot walk into your house and rearrange your life. The president is the most temporary, most checked, most limited person in our republic. 4 years, maybe 8, he's gone. Why the obsession? Why the orange man bad worth $1 billion protest machine? It's never been about Trump. He's the excuse. He's this shiny object that they're dangling in front of millions of useful idiots while the real play is happening behind the curtain. You want to know what they're conditioning people to accept? I think they're building the infrastructure for that permanent political activation. They don't want you to vote every 4 years and go home. They want you in the streets on command. They want you emotionally hijacked, triggered by a name. Like you guys are all activated sleeper cells. You get that? Like you're one of the sleeper cells. Every time the machine sends a push notification to your phone, that's not civic engagement. That's behavioral programming. People didn't just wake up Saturday morning and say they're going to a march. They were told to go. Organized, funneled, printed talking points, handed signs, routed through permit approved paths like cattle through a chute, and there's your freedom. What happens when that infrastructure gets pointed at something other than a protest? Like what happens with that? You have all these people and they have the ability to mobilize these brainwashed people in 50 states simultaneously. They have trained them. They're Pavlov's dogs now because it's not about Trump. They're going to continue to be used for everything. This is a parallel power structure. That's a shadow government's, ideally it's their wet dream. They have all they need here. You don't spend that kind of money to complain about a man who's gone in 2 years. You don't do that. You don't spend that kind of money to build a machine that outlasts every president, every election, every administration, a machine that can apply pressure whenever, wherever the donor class needs it applied Today it's no kings. Tomorrow it's accept the policy or you're a fascist. Next year it's if you don't comply, we'll put 1 million people outside your door. They're not protesting the government, they're building a replacement for your consent. They want to normalize mob consensus as the voice of the people so that when the actual republic, the one with the constitutional limits on power, gets in the way of what they want, they can say, but the people have spoken and bulldoze right through it. That's what this is about. That's why these people are being conditioned. It's not to save democracy, it's to replace the republic with something they can buy. Maybe, maybe we're really watching a death rattle, right? Like the devil's last tantrum, because what I can connect this to is their last tantrum. They have this Podesta plan and they lost a system. They had a plan, very specific, very long term, very well funded plan to permanently reshape the country from the inside out with the courts, the agencies, 3 letter institutions, intelligence community, the media, all of it. The deep state wasn't a conspiracy theory. It never has been. It's been a business model. Trump's dismantling it one little thing at a time. And if you watch everything he's done and you trace to where it hurts the most, he's tearing them apart one at a time, pulling the wires out of the walls, and they're panicking. Like the curtains are coming open, infrastructure crumbling. And when your operatives are getting exposed, when the machine you spent decades building is getting dismantled by the guy with the great spray tan, you do this. You pour every dollar you have into the streets. You mobilize every last possible asset. You activate your useful idiots, that's the sleeper cells, every nonprofit, every Soros funded organization, every communist front group, and you scream as loud as you can, save democracy, because you just hope it's going to be loud enough to drown us out. This is desperation. This is their Hail Mary of a ruling class that feels the ground shifting under their feet. And the ultimate play, get everybody so pissed off, so divided, so emotionally hijacked, they still want to push that civil war. They've wanted to do it for a very long time. That's the end game. Not protest, not policy change, chaos. Chaos is the environment where these people survive. Order exposes them, peace exposes them. A functioning republic with citizens that are awake, who ask questions and refuse to comply. We are their worst nightmare. We're their worst nightmare. And that's it. That's my No Kings rant. Because y'all,
You sure?
I'm sure.
I wasn't going to step in the way of that traffic.
No, I'm sure.
So that was really something. All right. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right now, the No Kings thing is viewed as kind of a joke, by the folks on the right, because we all know you can't really argue about, oh, well, it's not really a king, yada yada. But they do need to keep things disrupted right now because, even though Trump is temporary, and even though he's going to be gone in a couple of years,
Yeah.
they can't let him pass the stuff he wants to pass, or they can't win an election again.
Yeah.
That's why they've been doing everything they've been doing with the SAVE Act. That's why they're, paying off the Republicans that are letting it all just go through. It's become ridiculous. But they have to act the way they're acting. Also, the No Kings thing happens on a day when Canada is outlawing the Bible.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
and when Finland passed their
Mm-hmm.
final judgment on some poor woman who was reciting scripture and went to jail for hate speech. And that all happened in the same couple of days, right when No Kings was happening and
Yeah.
dominating the airwaves.
Yeah.
So it's again making all of us useful idiots
Yep.
because then we can't talk about the fact that Canada literally outlawed the Bible.
Yeah. I saw that. It's
Hmm.
called Bill C9. They passed it. So this is what happens, you guys. Quoting Bible passages is going to be prosecuted as hate speech. That's insane to me. Hate speech. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm already in Facebook jail all the time, but if I really knew, if I thought for a second it's because I post Christ is King, if that was my Facebook jail, I probably would just be done with the platform. Because what is the point? Like that's crazy to me.
Well,
You've
that's what
got
they want.
yeah.
No,
No, that is crazy.
no. I've been saying this to friends and family for years, through the entire Biden regime. I'm a Christian man. and I have a whole lot of people who are in their fields as Christians who are saying, if you're really going to be Christian, you can't worry about politics, okay? Because God's going to take care of everything. And I said, well, that's great, but you're not going to be able to read about it.
Yeah.
And I said 5 years ago to people that if they can, they'll outlaw the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay. I said they'll just simply say you can't do it anymore and they'll call it hate speech. I said this 5 years ago.
You've said
I
it on
said it
this
four
show.
years ago. I said it on the show that that may happen. There's even, a whole big miniseries that was produced, by the PureFlix folks
Mm-hmm.
uh, about people running underground Bibles, back and forth and being persecuted and killed and,
Mm-hmm.
hunted down because they were traveling, with this forbidden speech
Yep.
because they finally got enough liberals to, blink and they outlawed hate speech.
Yeah.
And outlawing hate speech means outlawing the Bible. Now, you notice nobody's outlawing the Quran for its hate speech. That it actually
Right.
says death to Christians,
Yes.
death to infidels.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's not hate speech, but the Bible is.
Yeah.
So, it's coming.
Yeah.
Canadians are all, I mean, looking around. You have the Alberta and these other provinces
Yep.
talking about starting their own countries and breaking away.
Yeah.
And this might have been the push they needed
Right.
to break away because there's a whole lot of Christians up there in Canada too
Yeah.
who are not real happy that they now can't actually out loud quote the Bible. So that means anytime any Christian goes to church in Canada, in their church,
Yeah.
and they quote a passage of the Bible, they're going to jail.
That, that's
So
real
police
life.
can literally stand outside Christian churches and take people to jail all day, every day. If the pastor recites the passage and then the congregation repeats it, like so many of us do, the
Right.
entire Catholic religion does that. The priest recites it and they repeat after him.
Yeah.
I know because I was raised Catholic. We're all going to jail. I mean, if they just parked cops outside of the jail, the church, and let them listen in, within 10 minutes, every member of the congregation is going to jail.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They're gonna. And while I don't think they're actually going to round everybody up like that, I think they're going to do it to the people they want to do it to. They'll
It,
use it as
when it's
selective enforcement.
convenient. Yeah. For
Exactly.
sure.
Yep. And this is, on the heels of the, Don Lemon charging the church and
Yeah.
everybody losing their mind. Oh, well, now I guess he can do whatever he wants because really the people in the church are just spewing hate speech.
Yeah.
So he was just defending himself.
Right.
It's absurd where we've all landed. And, we warned about it and we warned about it. But this is why people have to pay attention to politics,
Yeah.
even if you don't like it and even if it makes you feel sick to your stomach.
Yep.
If you are actually a Christian and you want to keep being one,
Yeah.
then you absolutely have to pay attention to politics. You absolutely have to vote.
Mhm.
Canada already outlawed it. Finland outlawed it. It isn't going to take too much longer for other countries to do the same,
Yep.
especially the ones that are being overrun by, Islamic Muslim or radical Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
It's game over. You will not be able to speak about the Bible. And then everybody be going, well, how did this happen?
Hmm.
Because you let it.
Yeah. And to be clear, I mean, nobody likes politics. Nobody likes any of this. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because they have built such a guarded system that has protected itself for so long. Like they've rewritten rules and like it's not fun. It's a responsibility. And not just that. I mean, the Bible literally says pray for your leaders, right? So why would you not vest what their policies are if you're going to be praying for them and supporting them, and it's non-negotiable. I did see though that Canada is making it a lot easier for Americans to become citizens over there. And so that makes me excited for everybody that hates America. Like this is the perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and skedaddle to a place that also hates America and Jesus. So like congrats cuz I think that's phenomenal. Go ahead. Please go up there and make some room in the states for, the Canadians that know America is still the greatest country on earth. And I'll die on that hill, right? But it's wild to me cuz Christ himself walked the earth. He performed the miracles. He loved the people face to face, and they still denied him and they crucified him. And the Bible tells us that when the Antichrist shows up, and he's coming, with his counterfeit kingdom, people are going to eat it up like it's gospel. And that's what all of this is setting up for as well. Showing us the most evil of evil. And then that Antichrist comes and he deceives everybody. And so that's why the deception, I think, is so thick. That's why laws are shifting. That is why, the truth is getting distorted. And again, people are too lazy or too distracted to open their Bibles and see what's actually been written for thousands of years. Um, this is not the time to be asleep. This is the time to get your house in order. And literally, if you are not opening your Bible every single day, I'm not talking about, when it's convenient, not when you're scared, or not just at church on Sunday. I'm saying like every day stay grounded in that truth, because you guys see it. The world is about to get a whole lot louder and a lot more deceitful. And if you do not know what you stand for, you're going to fall for the bullshit for all of it. So I say be very careful of all of that. That's all we have. I mean, that's our only saving grace.
Well, hopefully that's enough. If everybody leans into it, that should be plenty.
Yeah.
But the action is needed more than ever. I'm always on here telling everybody they got to go vote.
Yep.
This is this is why.
Yep.
I mean, literally they outlawed the Bible just north of us. It's not going to take long. How
Absolutely.
long before the city places, the different city governments, and the
Right.
municipalities start to do the same thing and outlaw the Bible as hate speech? What if Dearborn, Michigan tomorrow decided to pass a city ordinance that you can't, within the city limits,
Yep.
um, quote Bible?
They
I mean,
probably
doesn't,
already quietly do that
well,
because
shouldn't that go against our freedom of religion?
exactly.
Constitutional right?
Yeah.
So it would be unconstitutional to do, but then someone has to go challenge it
Yeah.
in the courts in order to get it to be ruled unconstitutional. And then even once it's ruled unconstitutional, they still can do it
Yeah.
because there's nobody around to enforce the Constitution anymore. So the Constitution is being rendered meaningless,
Yep.
and this is what Obama started doing years ago. A brilliant guy that he is,
Very smart.
was he said, hey, we can get around this because there's no way to enforce the Constitution.
Yeah.
So if we just break it, then we get to do all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
because we can. He was right.
Yep.
And they're still running the same playbook.
That's why you guys got to research your people.
Good times.
Research your people. And to think I voted for him. I didn't know. I didn't know about research. I fell for everything that everybody falls for. And I just heard the great commercial, right? I'm like, wow, this is who he is. And things that he said, I'm like, yes. Oh,
Hmm.
no.
We all make mistakes.
Oh, no. Live and
Yeah.
learn the hard
When
way.
uh, when Clinton was running against George Bush Sr. and Ross Perot, I voted for Clinton. And that's one of the biggest things that I've had to live down because I can't believe that I actually did it. But at the time, I was like, okay, really? This
Mm-hmm.
just seemed like the thing to do. Now, fiscally, it ended up working out because Clinton was a very good businessman.
Yeah.
He was just an absolutely rotten human being.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got a big taste of that before. But, when he and the Republicans were working together,
Mm-hmm.
we had some of the greatest prosperity ever in the 90s.
Yeah.
Life was great back then.
Yep.
Low gas prices, stock market was killing it. Everybody was making money.
Yeah.
Housing was affordable. It was good times
Yeah.
because he understood the business part of it.
Yeah.
So, Clinton was a Republican at heart when it came to his money,
Yeah.
and always has been. But definitely a far left swinging progressive when it came to his personal life and all his
Sold his
personal
soul.
beliefs.
That's it. I don't think it
And
was beliefs.
yeah, apparently he was hanging out with little kids back then too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what are you gonna do?
Sold his soul.
For sure.
So I'll let you drink your coffee because if I say this while you're drinking it, you're gonna spit it all over your all
All right, I'm
over your
clear. I'm
camera.
clear. Thanks for that.
Things I thought I'd never say on the show. Things I thought I'd never say. I saw where AOC and Bernie Sanders are doing something we can absolutely stand behind and cheer on and respect. And that's the truth of being someone who is open when it comes to politics, you guys. You have to research everything. And I made sure this was true. Um, they're pushing back and they introduced a bill to pause all of the AI data centers across the United States.
Hmm. I hadn't heard that. That
Yep,
that really happened?
that
I'm
really
totally in favor of that. You're right.
happened. That happened. They said no more until real regulations are in place. Because, and I get it, right? Because they're environmentalists and they're all the things. But the truth is, like, you guys don't understand, these massive facilities are going to eat up insane amounts of electricity and water.
Yeah.
They're some of the what they're saying in their platform when they're talking about this. I watched two different places that I watched videos of them talking about it. Some of these data centers use as much power as it would take to fuel 100,000 homes. So that's going to drive up utility costs faster than anyone can control or regulate. And on top of that, again, they're actually raising questions about privacy, surveillance, job loss, big tech basically running ahead of the government with zero guardrails. And their stance is simple, like they're just saying hit pause, figure out the consequences, and stop letting a handful of tech giants reshape the economy and communities without oversight. And yes, I was like, this they did not. It's a first. It's a first for me.
Well, I'm not sure why they're doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something in it for them, but it's
Yeah,
still
it's definitely something for them. I mean, they're trying to figure out how to become the next president and vice president, I think.
ah
I think AOC is trying to run at the front of the ticket and Bernie Sanders is the VP because Bernie's already proven he's not president material, like over and over and
correct.
over.
Yeah,
People are looking for, a minority lady,
of
rep,
course.
and it didn't work last time, but they think AOC is, I don't know, maybe they think she's better looking. I have no idea what the thinking is there.
Yeah,
She doesn't even understand where Taiwan is,
right.
which we found out. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I can't wait to see that debate
Yeah.
between her and JD Vance.
I
It's
are you
going to be
sure
great.
they're still thinking of putting her up? I mean, I think it didn't go over well that she doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I think
Uh,
she's thinking of putting her up, and I think Bernie is
okay.
thinking of putting her up, but the
Interesting.
party's running out of options.
Okay.
It's kind of like what Kamala did last time.
Yeah.
Everybody was just going to go with Biden, and then Biden did that one debate, and everybody went, "Oh, okay,
This can't
we
happen.
this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Just simply can't go down this road." And so they got rid of him. Well, basically, Kamala didn't go, "Well, hey, I'd like to run. Please consider me." She went out and started campaigning the next day. And everybody was like, no, we need to go to the convention and do this. And she was like, nope. And her people got on the phone with the donors and said, hey, let's lock her in. And before anybody even knew what happened, she was locked in.
Yeah.
And it was, okay, you tell everybody that you don't think that the minority VP lady is not qualified. And I give her all the credit in the world. That was one of the best power moves
Yeah.
I've ever seen. She got her party to literally break the Constitution.
Mhm.
She got them to break the Democratic Party's constitution and rules, all because she just took such a power play.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't work in the end, but honestly, I was really impressed by her doing that. Now, people learn from what they see.
Yeah.
And AOC and Bernie are like, why are we playing by the rules?
Yeah.
All we have to do is be the people's choice, put ourselves in the spot where they have nobody else and go, tell me why, we can't have it.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to get it. So, oh no, we need to wait for the, white male to show up in Gavin Newsom. Everybody's gonna be like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
No, I don't think so.
He took himself out.
Yeah. What's that?
He took himself out a while ago.
Well, for now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
really,
So, well,
that
the,
could
the
change.
Pennsylvania governor, I think, is the other guy that they really want to push. But,
Okay.
we'll see how that plays out, you
Okay.
know, because they need Pennsylvania to win anything. So if he's not there, they're in a lot of trouble.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be really hard because he's Jewish and he's
Wow.
a practicing,
Yeah.
Jewish guy. So it's really hard for him to represent the party that hates Jewish people and supports Hamas.
Right.
It's gonna be a tough one, tough
I
sell.
I love that you said that out loud. That's awesome. Spoke a little truth
Hey,
there.
that's just how it is.
That's
So
so funny.
it's amazing to me the way
Yeah.
these people all act. So hey, support Hamas, support Iran,
Yeah.
who kill Jewish people and kill homosexuals and
Yeah.
kill transgenders.
Yeah.
But hey, support them over here in the United States. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I didn't
So
research it, but I did see how the Dems got busted. The money sent to Hamas came back to the Democrat Party. So that was
a
all
lot did. Yeah.
big money funneling thing. And I mean, I didn't research it. I didn't fact check it. I'm just saying I saw that. Just saw that.
The Democrats have been running the biggest money laundering
Yeah.
scams in history, and
Apparently.
everybody knows it,
Hmm.
but they won't go after it.
Yeah.
I just
Interesting.
don't know why.
So the last thing I have today, you guys, and I figured this would just be kind of a funny, a funny thing to for me to end on, since I went on my little no kings rant and reminded everyone they're the sleeper cells everybody's been warned about, right? NASA has now confirmed. I can't even keep a straight face. Has now confirmed that we have two moons until 2083, and like I want to laugh so so hard because like the comment that I saw one of the guys make is like, so do we have to fake a second moon landing? And I'm like, moon landing. Like that was super fake. We've covered that, okay? Um but I'm at the point like I'm not even convinced the moon that we've been staring at like little lovesick idiots is even real to begin with. Seriously. Like the glowing cheese ball hanging up there every night. I feel like what if it's just a I don't know. I don't know if it's real. Maybe it's a NASA nightlight, a hologram that they've been deeming down forever so that people don't ask questions about, what's really above the firmament. And if you read the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to tell you. Um, but now they're out here just casually dropping that they found a little mini moon that is doing laps around us, and it's not a big deal. Um, and we just find out the first one barely. We just found out it's made of rock and dust, or is it? Suddenly there's another one. Like, hey, I'm here. Again, I'm already suspicious of the original. Convenient that it's a perfect size to eclipse the sun, always showing the same. It's just weird. Reflecting light in a way that makes zero scientific sense sometimes. But we're going to add a second one. So, is this their way of slowly admitting that the sky is a dome and they're just swapping out the light fixtures? Like, oops, the first bulb burnt out, but look, we have a second one. It's a little smaller, a little more fake, but we're gonna sell T-shirts. Um,
Oh,
and you guys, I pretty much believe that it is a flat Earth. Just my Bible research, okay, and just a lot of things. So whether it is or isn't doesn't affect my daily. It's not a big deal. I know people that believe the Earth is round wholeheartedly like freak out and get very triggered by anyone who says Earth and flat in the same sentence. So I should just take a deep breath, okay? But I'm questioning it. Um, but I feel like the moons are just more theater, and they're messing with our weather. We know they've done things with the sun because that natural light is healing for us. And a government that wants us sick and not healthy and controlled, spraying stuff in our air, that's not theory. Okay, that's not a conspiracy. They're really putting chemicals in our air. They're really messing with Earth's natural elements. They're doing that, messing with the weather systems. Um, I don't know. Is the government the reason that Michigan is so cloudy all the time? Probably because sun makes people happy. And why would they want happy people in a blue state? Like if we keep them all mad and miserable and depressed. So anyway, uh, it's just come on. They're really discovering stuff up there that conveniently it just fits like a new narrative this week. Okay, um, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the second moon stuff, and I'm definitely not buying that we ever walked on the first one. But I just think it's super funny, hilarious. Like, what's
I'm,
next? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm probably the only geek on this set right now. So
yeah,
are you a Star Wars fan at all?
no,
Okay. Yeah, you won't get it, but the people out there will.
yeah,
The Star Wars fans out there
yeah,
are all probably thinking the same thing I am right now. There's a line in the first Star Wars movie where
okay,
they're like, "Hey, we're going to pull in close to that moon over there," and Obi-Wan Kenobi goes, "That's not a moon. That's a space station."
nice,
And the whole time I'm like, "Is that what you're trying to tell us? That it's a space station and there's a tractor beam on it that's going to
yeah,
pull the Millennium Falcon into it, and
yeah.
we just don't know it? I mean, it could be. It could
It
be.
could be. That's the point. But whatever the government says it is, it isn't. I know that. Like they've lied to us about so many things, and for whatever reason, I don't know why they play the games they play, but I mean, they've been exposed all across the board, and they're just not trustworthy. Again, another reason, like, why would I think the earth is round? The government believes that. Like, NASA wants me to believe that. I don't trust those guys. I don't trust them, you know? And I just, yeah, whole lot of things.
All
Severe
right.
level of mistrust. But yeah, do we have a space station now? And they're going to call it a moon. Who knows? But we know it's not a moon. So, anyway, just thought that would be fun for the end of my rant. So, what else do you have for today's show? Anything that needs to be brought to light?
No, I really wanted to focus on the Bible, being
Yeah.
outlawed. That was my biggest thing. That was what I brought here from the weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Was to me just I was flabbergasted that it actually passed.
Yeah.
I mean, it passed a governing body and was voted on and approved. This wasn't like some random dictator who said I'm outlawing it.
Yeah.
It was a governing body of majority, like rule by the people type of thing,
Yeah.
who all said, um, "Yeah, this is hate speech." I'm blown away.
Yeah.
But
The devil got a big win.
yeah, big time.
Big win, but you guys, God still has the victory. So, and that's part of us, holding the line. Like the Bible says, hold the line. Hold the line. Stand strong in that, and hold the line means you don't get to be a useful idiot, and you don't get to continue with the complicit silence, because everybody that didn't show up for that, um you're guilty. I don't want to hear. I You can't complain. These are the people you voted for. So I just, yeah, close us out, sir.
I mean, I'm not sure I can do better than the moon space station thing, but I think I just want to go back to the Bible one last time.
Yeah.
We've talked about what happened. We've talked about, what's going on. We've talked about what they did. The thing that I want to point out is that this isn't the end of it. This is the tip of the spear. They needed this to happen somewhere, and they managed to get it to happen over, in the European area with, Finland. They had it happen over here in our hemisphere, on North America, on our continent with Canada. It had to happen in a couple of separate, distanced locations so that it could start to spread. And you're going to see this start to spread. So it's really important, like now more than ever, that we dig in and we decide that this is not okay.
Yeah.
If you let this go, it will result in a slippery slope downhill. People will start getting arrested, churches will start getting outlawed, and you will have lost all of the rights that you thought you had. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If one party in power can do things like this, then God help you if the power switches to the other hand, because it means they can do it too. So either you have freedoms or you don't. If you disagree with them, that doesn't mean you eliminate them. It means that you vote differently, and you go try and make a difference that way. So yeah, just keep your eyes open because this is a slippery slope that's going to not stop anytime soon. You're going to see more and more and more of this if we don't get in front of it fast.
I
That's it.
agree. I agree. All right, guys. See you later.